Alright folks, gather around. Today we're talking about the UK, a place that loves tea and a good queue almost as much as it loves a good immigration shakeup. And boy have they been stirring things up lately. New rules, new deportations, and a whole lot of confusion. The UK has always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with immigration. On one hand, they need workers, diversity, and all the good stuff that comes with it. On the other hand, some folks get nervous about people coming in, taking jobs, and changing the culture. So what's new this time? After Brexit, the UK decided it was time for a major immigration makeover. They wanted more control over who could come in, who could stay, and who had to pack their bags. We're talking new visa rules, stricter border controls, and a whole lot of uncertainty for immigrants and Brits alike. So put on your best British accent, grab a cuppa, and let's dive into the latest immigration drama unfolding across the pond. Let's talk about the brains behind this operation. Step forward, Boris Johnson, the UK's Prime Minister at the time. Boris, with his signature messy hair and even messier policies, decided it was time to get tough on immigration. He promised to take back control of the UK's borders. His government, along with Priti Patel, the Home Secretary at the time, came up with a plan. They called it the points-based immigration system. Basically, it's like a game of immigration bingo. You get points for speaking English, having a job offer, and generally being awesome. Get enough points and congratulations, you're in. Don't get enough? Well, better luck next time, mate. Critics say it favors highly skilled workers and leaves little room for people who might not have fancy degrees but are essential to the UK's economy, like care workers or construction workers. The government also announced plans to crack down on illegal immigration, increasing deportations, even for people who have been living in the UK for years. It's like being deported to your great-great-grandmother's village because you forgot to renew your library card. Now let's talk about how all this is actually playing out on the ground. The UK government has been busy beefing up its border force, conducting more immigration raids, and making it harder for people to stay in the country illegally. Picture this: you're at the grocery store, picking out your favorite biscuits, when suddenly, immigration officers storm in, demanding to see everyone's papers. Not exactly the relaxing shopping experience one hopes for, right? They've also been making it harder for people to access essential services like healthcare and housing without proper documentation. This means that undocumented immigrants are often forced to live in the shadows, too scared to seek help even when they need it the most. But it's not just about raids and restrictions. The government has also been trying to make it less appealing for people to come to the UK illegally in the first place. They've been working with other countries to try and stop people from making dangerous journeys across the English Channel in small boats. The impact of these policies has been significant, to say the least. Families have been torn apart, businesses are struggling to find workers, and the social fabric of the UK is being stretched thin. Section 4. Not on my watch, the people push back. Now, it wouldn't be a proper British story without a bit of good old-fashioned protest, would it? And let me tell you, the Brits have not been shy about voicing their displeasure with these new immigration policies. From massive street demonstrations to online petitions, people from all walks of life have been making their voices heard. Unions, charities, and human rights groups have been particularly vocal in their opposition. They argue that these policies are cruel, inhumane, and downright un-British. One union leader called the new rules a hostile environment for immigrants, while a charity worker described the situation as chaotic and inhumane. They argue that these policies are not only morally wrong but also economically damaging. The public outcry has been so loud that even some members of the Conservative Party, Boris Johnson's own party, have expressed their concerns. It seems that even within the halls of power, people are starting to realize that these immigration policies might have gone a bit too far. Section 5. What happens in court? Lawyers get busy. Of course, all this drama wouldn't be complete without a trip to the courtroom. Lawyers have been working overtime, challenging the legality of these new immigration policies. They argue that some of these policies violate human rights and discriminate against certain groups. There have been some significant legal victories, with courts ruling that certain aspects of the government's immigration policies are unlawful. For example, a court ruled that the government's plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda while their claims were processed was unlawful. These legal challenges have thrown the government's plans into disarray and given hope to those fighting for a fairer immigration system. However, the government has vowed to appeal these rulings, setting the stage for a protracted legal battle. Section 6. Stay tuned. This story isn't over. So there you have it, folks, the UK's immigration saga in a nutshell. New rules, deportations, protests, legal battles, it's got it all. It's a story about politics, identity, and the human cost of trying to control who belongs and who doesn't. The UK's immigration debate is far from over. The government is determined to push forward with its plans to reduce immigration, while opposition parties and activist groups continue to fight for a more compassionate and just system. One thing is for sure, this story is far from over. So, stay tuned, because you can bet your bottom dollar, or should I say your pound sterling, that there will be more twists and turns to come.